Give me a Q. Give me an A. What's that spell? QA? I was going for questions and answers because in this episode of Healthcare Hacks, I'm going to try to address some members' questions around the financial accounts used to save for healthcare. Hi, my name's John. I'm your healthcare hacker and your financial cheerleader. Before I start going to the questions, please take a minute to like this video and subscribe to our channel so that you can keep up to date with the latest healthcare hacks and how to navigate our complex U.S. healthcare system. Our first question comes from Jordan. Jordan asks, I use my HSA to pay for a medical bill, only to find out that I overpaid, and I'm getting a refund. What do I need to do? Great question, Jordan. You have a couple things you can do with that money. First, if the services occurred in the same calendar year, you can put that money right directly back into your HSA. There'll be no tax penalty. You just put it directly back in. It's like it never happened. The second option, especially if it's towards the beginning of the year, you can keep that money out and then use it for other medical expenses that are eligible for HSA payments. Again, there will be no penalty. Now, if you keep it out at the end of the year, and you have until April 15th of the following year to put it back in, but if you keep it out, there will eventually be a tax penalty if you report it as withdrawn and not towards a medical expense this year. Second question comes from Paul. Paul asks, I had a service that was denied by my insurance company. Can I use my HRA dollars to pay for it? Well, Paul, it really depends. It depends on how your employer set up your HRA. You'll need to talk to either the HRA provider or your employer to see if you can use it for a denied service. Now, if you have an HSA or an FSA, you can absolutely use those dollars to pay for that denied service as long as it falls on the IRS list of approved services. I'll put that list in the description below if you have any questions. Our third question comes from Steve. Steve asks, I just recently switched jobs to a new employer, and that employer offers health insurance called an ICHRA. What is it? Is it any good? Should I use it? Well, the short answer is you absolutely should use it. And let me explain what it is. So an ICHRA stands for a individual contribution HRA. It's where the employer sets aside some money, gives it to their employees that they can use to buy whatever health insurance they want. They have to go out to the exchange or talk to an insurance broker to buy the plan that makes most sense for them and their family. Now, the big advantage is you kind of tell is you can buy a plan that you're most comfortable with. Maybe you're relatively young and healthy and you want to buy a high deductible plan with lower premiums to save you money throughout the year. Absolutely can do that. Maybe you're a little bit more, you have an ongoing condition, you want to buy something that's a little bit more expensive, like a gold or platinum plan on the exchange with lower premiums, or excuse me, higher premiums, but lower out of pocket. Then you could do that. So they give you a lot of options. Now the downside is there's more work you have to do as an individual. The employer is setting that money aside for you, but you have to choose how you want to use it. Our final question this month comes from Bruce. Bruce asks, I just turned 63. I've never used an HSA before. Should I even bother given I'm about to retire? Bruce, you should. It still makes a ton of sense. The main reason is whatever money you put in this year is tax-free. It lowers your income. Again, as long as you use it for medical expenses, when you take it out, it's also tax-free. So it makes a ton of sense, even if you don't invest it. Also remember, that money's yours. So if you do retire, it's not like the employer keeps it. That money follows you, and you can use it even once you're on Medicare to cover deductibles, out-of-pocket expenses such as co-insurance and prescription drugs. Again, the list that describes what you use HSA dollars for is going to be contained in the description below. I want to thank everyone for the questions. If you have a question about this topic or anything else around the financial side of healthcare, please leave them in the comments below and we'll try to address them in an upcoming episode of Healthcare Hacks. And as always, make sure you get the facts by joining me in the next episode of Healthcare Hacks.